Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 28th of October. So looking at the euro dollar first, and yesterday, well, pretty much ended up, certainly a down day, and would possibly suggest there's the potential for further downside. It's certainly looking weak. When you look at the 4 hourlies, you saw, it shows it a little bit clearer in a sense, that the fact that we managed to put a lower high and it didn't even get up to the previous day's highs. And well, it's looking rather bitty. At the moment, it's back into that 4 hourly 50 once again. And what I've done here is possibly a bit early, but drawn the trend line across the lows here. Now, these moves are relatively modest in terms of size. It's only 20 pips up on the whole of this hourly bar, really. So it's quite possible, if we see the market starting to roll and more dollar strength coming through, that we'll see a break of the lows here. The only problem I have with the euro at the moment is the targets are relatively modest, even to the lows here at 16, but perhaps it looks a bit better if it was to be selling off further down to the S1. The only problem is it's struggling to even, a lot of the time, hit the R1s, S1s. Okay, the pound, let's go to a bigger time frame. Well, bearish engulfing yesterday, which could suggest further downside. It's consolidating where it's sitting at the moment on the 4 hourlies, and to me looks relatively bearish. Now, it has got an untouched daily pivot above us. Any sort of rallies from where we are in the next hour or so could see it running back towards its daily pivot easy enough. It's at that point where we've really got to make the decision whether it's there's expected further upside at that point, or whether we'll see a retracement and a movement back south. At the moment, I prefer almost, I think the latter rather may be hit. However, I would need to see a clear signal of it's rolling over here to start selling. It is an odd one. It had good data coming out yesterday, couldn't hold on to it, sold off, then rallied in it towards the midday, but even couldn't hold again, and you've just seen it sell off again. So you can see the uncertainty in the pound, and it seems that traders are selling into the pound at any opportunity, really. So we'll watch. As I say, mainly bearish on that. Dollar yen, well, it's from a daily perspective yesterday, a little bit swinging on the dailies, and it's been pushing up again. There is, however, at this stage on the 4 hourlies, a bit of divergence going on, and the daily pivot untouched below. Now, really need to see a break of probably the 8 to get some sort of hourly 8 to get some sort of confirmation of it may be rolling over, but then watching it carefully, it's probably got a few points there, but it's not the best looking. And what we may see is a consolidation as a reaction to this divergence rather than a full-blown retracement. Aussie dollar, the Aussie dollar selling off again, just proving its weakness. A couple of days ago, it just did not manage to close above those prior level of trend line there. Again, just showing its weakness, and it's really looks like it's heading back down to the bottom levels there at the moment. Looking at the hourlies, it's already caught the daily pivot nearly into the S1. Any retracements may be sold probably back and continue. See if you see a continuation to this downside. Struggling to see any support across these time frames at the moment. Maybe the 100, but that seems in the normal circumstances not really to give much support at all. So it's maybe the other point there could be the MIDI, and there's not a lot of horizontal support obvious until we get right down towards the 75 area. Okay, and finally the Canadian dollar. Just a quick look oil. What oil's been doing yesterday, it's managed to try and put a bit of a reversal in here. It's back to just under $50 a barrel after slipping a little bit. That didn't help the Canadian dollar over the last hour or so, but nor was the dollar strength, US dollar strength. The only thing, as I mentioned yesterday, is the momentum in this move seems to be slowing up into the move upwards. And whilst we broke through the day before, the sort of channel that was sitting there, the consolidation, is not really going with much gusto at the moment. Coming back to the hourlies, it's already caught the daily pivot here at the moment. Perhaps if it's going to be continuing in this mode, we've got to watch all a little bit, but it could be breaking this trend up towards the daily R1 or yesterday's highs or the daily R1. Okay, that's pretty much it from there. Now we have got some data out today. Starting off, really starting and finishing, the main data is the US GDP figures at 1:30, and these really could give us quite a boost in the market one way or the other at 1:30. So expected to come in around about 2.5% up from the previous figure of 1.4%, which in effect has also been upgraded already. So there'll be quite a lot of focus on that number come 1:30. Could be a bit of a, just looking at the European data coming out. The data coming out before then is pretty low-key data. Most of it will be out by 8 o'clock. And that'll be it. So looking, as I say, looking forward to the data at 1:30 there. Have a great one. Bye for now.